Welcome everyone. So today we're going to be making two types of pakoray. One's an onion, potato, like green chili one, and the other is just a straight up plain potato one. So here I have our spice blend. I have 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne, crushed red pepper, Kashmiri red chili, cumin, coriander, salt, and then 1 teaspoon of chaat masala, 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of haldi. Here I have 4 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of rice flour. And then here I have 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder, and then 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. We are going to sift 1.5 cups of besan, which is like chickpea flour. If you have a sifter, that would be a lot easier. You want to sift it till everything's done. Now to the sifted flour, I added all the spices, the baking powder, baking soda, rice flour, and cornstarch, and I'm going to whisk it well until everything's well incorporated. You just want to make sure everything's dispersed well. Now, instead of using regular water in our pakoda batter mix, you can if you want to, but I have 1 sliced onion in a food processor, and to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of water and puree it until it's smooth. Now it should roughly equal like 1/2 cup of this pureed onion mixture. If you have more, that would be great, but we're going to use this in combination with water to make our batter. Now I added the onion puree and I added 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste, and now we're going to start adding our water. So I have 1 cup of water on this side, and I'm going to slowly add it. You don't want to add too much liquid, but first we're going to add maybe about 1/4 of a cup and continue adding till it's the right consistency. And when I'm measuring my liquid, I am using a dry measuring cup, so I added 1 cup of water so far, and it's coming along nicely. I added 1 cup and roughly 1 to 2 more tablespoons of water, and this is the thicker consistency, so we're going to take out roughly a cup or so of the batter into a different bowl. And this is going to be for our potato pakoray. So I have some sliced potatoes here that we're just going to dip into our batter and mix well. And we're going to set this aside. So for the rest of the batter, I have 2 cups of sliced onions, about 1/2 cup of sliced or really finely diced potatoes. I have about 1/4 of a cup of diced serrano chilies. You can use Thai chilies or jalapenos, and I have 1/3 of a cup of chopped cilantro. So we're just going to mix this well. It's going to be a really thick batter. Now to this batch of the pakoda with the onions and peppers and potato vegetables, we're going to add more spices. I have 1 teaspoon of salt, chaat masala, cayenne, crushed red pepper, Kashmiri red chili, cumin, coriander, salt, and then I have 1/2 teaspoon more of haldi. And we're going to add all of these spices in and mix well. I also added the leftover batter from the potato pakoras, the one that was left over because there was no more potatoes for me to use, back into this mix, and we're going to just really mix that well. First, we're going to fry up our potato pakoray. We're just going to dip it in the batter well and then slide it in. I have the oil roughly like around 350 degrees, medium-high heat. And then we're just going to slowly add all of our potatoes. You do also want to make sure you kind of flip them. I think my oil was a little bit too hot, so I might lower the heat. Now once they become golden brown and delicious, we want to remove them onto a paper towel lined plate. And right when they come out of the oil, you also want to lightly salt them. We used a little bit of salt in the pakoda batter, just so I like a little extra salt on the top. So we're just going to take these babies out. They look so good. And then lightly salt them. Now to make these pakoras, I basically use 2 spoons. I ladle one on 1 spoon and then use the other one to kind of drop it into the oil so it stays in a uniform shape, and I'm gonna continue doing that for the rest of the pakora batters. You basically ladle it and dip your spoon into the oil and kind of ladle it right there so it kind of forms that shape. And you want to make sure to flip every so often so both sides get brown. Beautiful. Now once they become golden brown like this, you just want to remove them onto a paper towel lined plate. How fast and easy was this recipe? I hope you guys try it out. Assalamu alaikum.